Hey, welcome back to the Chamber Cast, Washington County Chamber Cast, the Chamber of Commerce right here. I'm your host, Jay Heish, and I got in the hot seat today, Tammy Feaster.
Hi,
How
thanks
you
for
doing?
having me.
Tammy, you are the president of Spherion Staffing and Recruiting.
Yes.
Is that said it right? Staffing and Recruiting?
Yes.
Okay. How's it going? How's the world?
So it's going. Listen, this is my favorite
Busy, huh?
favorite time of the year is when the snow clears and everybody wakes up and it's time to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
Time to switch jobs. Time to move.
March is a big month for that this time of year.
As soon as the snow clears.
Yeah, right. The job's clear too, huh? Or
Yep.
something like that.
Yep. Tax time is upon us.
our
People
favorite
pay that credit card bill and they're ready to move.
It is a weird time of year. That's true. You've been with Spherion. You're the president. Did you start Spherion? How long? How old is Spherion?
So Spherion is a franchise group under the parent company Donna K Personnel. Donna K was actually from Hagerstown, Washington County. She was the owner of the franchise when I came to work for her at 17 years old.
Oh,
She mentored, raised me in the employment industry,
Right.
and I fell in love and I stayed with it for, this will be my 31st year.
this is your 31st year. here?
31st year, 15th year as an owner.
You've been doing this since 1994.
1994.
Wow, you've seen
Senior in high school.
You've seen the roller coaster ride of employment.
I have. I've
And all
seen
kinds
it all.
of good stuff.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, in this country, right? Yeah,
Yes.
30 years. We've gone through a lot of things, man.
Yeah.
The internet's come along. Everything's
Yeah.
everything's like changed, shifted. You know,
When I started, it was
together.
box computer screens.
Yeah, I remember
and,
those. I even remember when the flat screens first came out. They were boxed at first. They
Yeah.
were wide. Yeah.
Yeah, they had the big old backs to them.
Yeah, I remember all that. Yeah, they were
Larger
beige.
keyboards.
And they were beige.
Yeah, we were probably out of the staffing industry. I think that I love Donna K, but we were the last office to go to Wi-Fi. So we had dial-up AOL for, oh my
To
goodness,
what? 2010?
Oh,
2015?
I could
Last
literally
year.
hear the tone in the office as it would connect, to go from paper application to computer.
Well, that's weird. They still offered it. But
Yeah.
how long ago do you think that was? It's 2025.
I'm going to
Less
say
than
like
10 years ago?
2000 maybe.
Okay, 2000.
I feel like 2000.
Wi-Fi? Okay.
When we started going from, AOL out.
Okay, I was gonna say.
But paper applications is how I started.
Right.
Card system and a filing cabinet.
Yeah.
Looking for people.
Gotcha. So what's going on? There's lots of stuff in the news, and we could spend an hour here talking about that. The trends right now in HR are
Yeah, so there's a lot happening in the employment arena. Obviously, you're right. We watch the news. We see what's going on. We live in an area, Washington County to Frederick County, where we are, bordering obviously the DMV with a lot of employment transition.
we're
down
outside of
there.
DC. Yep.
Yep, we've got a lot of employment transition, a lot of people that are, facing different career changes, choices, transitions, how to take one skill and transfer it into
Right.
another industry.
Right.
To say, as well as manufacturing and logistics is coming to this area. I mean, the 81 corridor is building some warehouses. We're seeing a lot of good stuff coming into the area,
Right.
which is great and huge for us,
Right.
because it creates a lot new job opportunities, employment opportunities. I call it the quarter wars, where
Wars.
the DCs come in and they hire a whole round of people, and then across the street you see they pay a quarter more, so half of them want to run across the street for a quarter, and then they run back
It's
over.
amazing, huh? Like the carrot dangling, huh?
Yeah. So no, I always say, like, again, the snow clears, the market opens, people are feeling good. They're ready to hire. They've paid their taxes. They know what their company budgets are for the year. And we
It's
see
like
a lot
psychology with you see it, right? You see the roller coaster ride, the trends.
of, I always tell everyone January is my least favorite time of the year.
I bet. That's nuts.
And once we see the spring, it happens.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff.
And it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
30 years. That's impressive. 31 years this year.
Yeah, it'd be my 31st year. So I guess actually 16 years as a local owner. I've got, we currently hold 5 offices
Right,
in
the
4
next
states.
question.
Yep.
4 states.
Yep.
Okay.
So we cover Chambersburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
We've got Winchester, Virginia, Martinsburg, West Virginia, Washington County down to Frederick County. And then I just am going to start putting my toes into Montgomery County. I
Okay.
just acquired. I haven't opened a brick and mortar.
Even closer to the hornet's nest.
I am.
There you go.
Yes, I'm going to poke the bear a little.
Lots of business down there, I bet.
There is.
For better or worse.
Yeah. Well, my daughter's a competitive soccer player and she's down there now. So I'm pretty much living in Montgomery County.
Oh,
So
so
I figured out why not
Hey,
make
open
some
an office.
friends and,
Sure.
expand down there.
That's what I would do.
But it is interesting because for each market that we service and we staff in, because we do full life cycle recruiting, right? So we do the temporary fill-ins, the temp to hire, the professional placement, which is a whole different area outside of the staffing side of our house. And each market is different in how it trends, which is what I find interesting because all four states kind of corner each other, but it is interesting to see which ones expand in manufacturing or the professional side or the different elements. Like again, Frederick is being impacted by the DMV stuff
more so than Hagerstown, right?
Yeah. And then as they go up, we've got all the distribution centers which create the interesting combination between PA and Hagerstown. So
it's a busy area, that's for sure.
It's very busy.
Well, at least all the area you're covering.
Yeah, I'm friends with a lot of tractor trailers on 70 to 81. We wave. I see them quite often.
Really?
I'm like, hey, here she comes.
There you go. All right. How long has Spherion been in the Chamber of Commerce here in Washington County?
So this will be our 40th year.
40 years.
Yeah, 40 years.
So longer than you've been in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Donna, like I said, Donna Kay was one of the first, if I'm correct, she was the first placement agency in this area.
Right.
Doing professional placement.
Yeah.
Yep. It was professional placement only at the time.
Okay.
Back when people paid to get a job.
Right.
So people would come in and write checks for you to find them a job versus companies paying.
Like an agent, like a real agency. Right.
And then she branched off several years later into the staffing industry, which was a whole different franchise.
I mean, so even the staffing, 40 years is a long time, 30 years is a long time. The staffing industry has changed a lot.
Oh, so much.
I mean, yeah,
the hiring process.
Besides the technology, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we went from, people that would walk in and fill out an application at the front door to everything is now in the clouds, and, virtual.
Right.
And, I call it the black hole of the internet.
What's the deal with when you get people's resumes today in 2025? It goes into a system. Is a lot of AI reading it? It's a lot of looking for keywords?
That is a great question. And I will tell you, I probably would be out of business if we were to rely on that system. And I'll explain that.
Right.
So why are we as popular as we are in the staffing industry is that we physically look at every resume that comes through.
It's a little more personal.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so, when I hunt for a candidate, they'll say, well, how did you find me? And I'll say, well, I dug about 3 layers of the onion into an Indeed or into a process to find you. Mm-hmm. And when you put your resume up online, if the one keyword is off, you're out.
Right. It's not like it used to be.
Right.
That's for sure.
So my teams,
the bots are all over.
We meet every single candidate. It's a lot of work, but we'll find those candidates that'll say, well, I applied for that job already and I didn't get a call. And I'll be like, we got this. We will then present the candidate, which may or may not already be in the company database, but not saying anything for or against AI because it's a brilliant tool.
But this is different.
It is.
You need some personal, face-to-face.
Yep. So we meet.
I can't really read somebody just based on their resume.
You can't.
I mean, you can call it old school if you want to, but there's just it's a reality to it, right?
The running joke with me is years and years and years ago, probably about halfway through my career, I was deleting, back when the 2006 bubble happened, I was deleting resumes because even I had forgot that you have to read the full resume. And if you look at a computer screen, you only see 3/4 of a candidate's information. And that bottom piece could be the most relevant that you need, the degree or the job. So I would read and say, well, I can't help this person. Why are they sending them to me? And then if you would just scroll up, I'm like, there it is.
Yeah.
So it is a process of really taking in the candidate and then meeting with them.
Sure.
And so again, anybody that is referred, I will at least put a phone call into. I got to hear their story. The story tells the person, tells how I'm going to move forward.
Face-to-face helps too. Sure.
Yes. Whether we can help them or not, at least it lets me see the journey outside of the paper.
Yeah. There you go.
100%.
Call Display J at ExpoNet USA for all your portable display and graphics needs. With printing facilities nationwide, Display J's got you covered on both sides of the country and anywhere in between. You've got a guy. Call Display J at 301-378-9363 or www.exponetusa.com. Also available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yeah. Well, and I'm a hunter. I'm an old school hunter. And what that means is I like to go, I will sit for endless hours if you give me a job description and I will hunt that person.
Do you feel like you're wasting your client's time if you're just doing it like the AI scan? You're out there trying to find candidates for them.
Right.
So you want a little more.
Well, and they usually, I look at it too. I tell my staff, I'm like, guys, by the time they call us, it's because they've tapped their resources, or maybe it is a time management thing and they don't have the time. But
One of the two, yeah.
a lot of times it's, they've done a pool and they've either got hundreds of people that they just don't have time to go through, and we're going to send the top 3, or they're just inundated with people that match up, that have a keyword that don't necessarily match the job description.
Right.
I mean, I'll do a search and I'll put in a word and I'll look at the background and be like, why did this resume come up? Well, it's just the way the engines, AI and all the back engines of recruiting,
they have their flaws. Of course
they run differently.
But people relying on that 100%. And then in this world, it's just.
There are times that I have met candidates and I have called companies and I've said, listen.
How come, right? Yeah.
Well, you've got to trust me. I'm going to send you this resume and you're going to go, why are you sending me this person? I'm be like, you got to meet them. Because
exactly
what you see is not going to match, but the person that I met with has everything you're looking for.
Right.
Those are some of the best matches.
They just can't convey it very well on paper.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I always laugh. I'm like, I should write my own resume and see what it looks like. I don't even know if I could sell myself.
I know. It's scary, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, imagine we had to go take our driver's test again.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, this has been fun, Tammy, because you know what? I think you were my point of contact for the Washington County Chamber of Commerce when I first joined it.
Yeah.
I think 2016 or 17. I think I went and talked to you.
Been here a long time.
So what would you say to anybody who has not joined the chamber, why they should join the chamber?
Definitely a huge networking ability. You go into these events, you see people that become not just a networking side, but become friends. They become family. Like the president just walked in and said, hello, I've known Paul for 35 years, maybe over my tenure here. But I think it's a big family and it's a great network and a great resource to meet people and use services for yourself.
Yeah, use it correctly, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, Tammy Feaster, Spherion Staffing and Recruiting. I want to thank you for joining us here in the Chambercast. And if you want to be a guest in the Chambercast, reach out to Maddie over there or Paul, or call the number on the screen. Check out the information. I'm Jay Heiss for the Chambercast. Until next time, see you later.